What is going on, miners, and welcome back to the Hobbyist Miner channel. So today we're going to go ahead and talk about how to get your hands on some cheap, inexpensive hardware for a brand new miner who doesn't have the luxury to go ahead and spend a fortune on things like a B250 mining motherboard or an H110 Pro. In this situation, we're going to go ahead and take a $50 HP tower that I got off of Facebook Marketplace, strip it down, and use the parts inside to in a future video, build a mining rig. Great example, we've done this already, right down here. So in this rig, right down here, this is a 6 GPU Ethereum Classic R9 380 rig, and the motherboard, the heatsink fan, the CPU, and the memory all came out of an HP tower, just like the one right here behind me, and it costs a total of $50. So these are HP 280 G1 MT business computers, and they're nothing special. What I do is I will take them, strip them down for parts. I'll use the power, in the power button I'll pull out of these things in order to have them available for a mining rig. I haven't used the power supplies. I'm always super cautious on the power supplies. Now, the power supplies are super small. We'll open this up, we'll take a look. But I don't use the power supplies, even though a lot of my rigs, like this one over here, the only thing the power supply is used for, the ATX power supply, is I power the motherboard. So I could get away with it, but how reliable are they going to be? So I kind of steer clear of those. But let me go ahead, and this one here has an Intel Pentium, but this one here actually has an i3. So let's tear down the i3 because that's going to be significantly better. I'll open it up, I'll show you inside, and then we'll go ahead and break this down. Okay, so we went ahead and took off the side of this, and let's take a look and see what we're working with. So it actually has a Cooler Master fan on it, which is great. It was an Intel i3. I don't recall what series it is. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and unplug like our SATA cables here. We got some other fan cables in here, all this junk. We don't need any of that. And what we'll do is we'll pull the motherboard out, and that'll leave us with the motherboard, the memory, heatsink, CPU, and then we'll go ahead and see anything else that we can rob from this setup. So give me a second. I'm going to go ahead and pull out, and then we'll go ahead and take a look at it and review and see what we have. Okay, so I just got everything undone, and I went ahead and unscrewed the motherboard. Let's go ahead and lift this out of here. There we go. Okay, so look, a bunch of screws still on there. There we go. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and discuss what we have here, and then we'll kind of look at what else is left in the case. So I haven't undone the memory. Look at that, already good to go, ready to be used for mining. Heatsink, don't need to touch that. Fans, good to go. So some other things that I pulled out of there was, this is the rear chassis fan, and it actually, you see how the tip's brown here? It actually goes to this port right here. In these, if you pull this out, someone had actually given me a workaround for this. So you have to like splice some cables together and stuff. I'm gonna try to avoid that. But on these HP towers, if you boot it without the chassis fan reading any RPMs, it actually doesn't boot past BIOS and throws an error telling you like, hey, chassis fan not found, press F1. Well, I want to avoid that just in case I need to reboot the rig and stuff like that. So I take these out, and my test rig, I completely forgot, is running the same setup. So look, here's my test rig. Here's an HP board. There's the memory, and look, here's that fan. I just have it sitting here spinning. It doesn't really put off any air, and I'm using it right here in my test rig. This is actually mining flux right now. So coming back over here, we now have a motherboard. Think of it, motherboard, memory, CPU, heatsink. Already $50 well spent. So now you might be saying, well, Hobbyist Miner, it only has 2 PCI slots. Yep. You're absolutely right. You want to see how we overcome that? Take a look. It's a PCI 1 to 4 splitter card. There's only 3 on that one. It supports up to 4. I actually have 2 cards in here. See, 2 of them. So I actually have right here 2 ready to go for my next build. Check it out, take a look. This card is what is in that other rig, and you just go ahead and plug it in. Bam, done. Turn it around. Look, we now have 4 USB headers on here. So I've been running that on that rig. That's an Ethereum Classic rig that I showed you guys there. I'll put a link in the upper right hand corner to that rig if you're interested in that full build. But look, there's one there, and look, here's another one right here. Now the one thing I will recommend is taking off these brackets. You can just unscrew it. There's a screw right here, and then you just have the card so that this metal bracket, you can see, look, it's kind of like if you put it on a flat surface, it's pushing it up. You don't want that to come out of there. But yeah, look at that, simple and easy. So $50, I can throw out a number, I think these are 20 bucks. So another $20 there to make this work. And let's say you do 2 of these, so you're at 40, so you're at what, $90 so far? Let's say if you go that route. Okay, so that's what's got us this far. Now the other item that I pull out of here, I don't bother with the hard drive, these older hard drives. There's just no point, honestly. Use a USB drive or a solid state drive. USB drives are cheap enough. And then finally, like I have a book, like here's one of the boards right here. The last thing I do is pull out the power button out of the front. Now it's a little bit more difficult. It's right back there. You can see it. It's at the very top right there. It has the yellow and the green and the red cables attached to it. So let me go ahead and pull that out. One moment. Okay, so here is actually that whole front assembly. I actually had to pull off the front of the case. You can see it's now missing, and it has the power button right here. It has USB drives, it has your audio, your microphone type of deal, and we only want the top portion. So you actually can break this off. It sounds crazy, and it's like, the power buttons are super cheap. I think you can get like 3 of them for $5 off like Amazon, but I'm like, well, you know, hey, we have it, so we might as well use it. So I think we just popped it. Yep. Well, there you go. Okay, so yeah, here it is. So it actually has an LED light here, so a nice indicator for when it's on or off. Push button there, which is nice, and then you just have your cord that you plug right into your motherboard. So if we were to go ahead and bring this over here on our board that we took out, this just plugs in right here in the corner. There we go, that's done. Our fan, this was the rear chassis fan, goes ahead and plugs in right here. Trying to do it one-handed is always fun. We can do it, we got this. We've trained for this. Okay, so now you need a power supply. So you need a 24 pin. And then this board only uses a little 4 pin right there, and that's it. And we're ready to go. We've gone ahead and stripped this down. We don't need anything else here. I mean, hey, if you guys need, let's see, SATA cable, we can pull that out of here. If you guys are going to use SSD, solid state, and I'm not sure on the size of these. I mean, if you really wanted to, you could. I'm trying to look on here and see. Okay, this is 180 watts. So this is a 180 watt power supply. If you really needed to, you could use it. I mean, I'm not recommended it. You're not going to power any GPUs or risers with it, but you can power a 24 pin and the 4 pin if you want. I mean, go for it. Why not? I mean, let's say this is your first mining rig. You spend $50, you get your adapter cards here, and you strip it down, and bam, you're good to go. You're set. That's it. Other than that, guys, that's it for today's video. I just wanted to show you guys how to go ahead and take a used HP tower, strip it down for cheap GPU mining parts, and off you go. I mean, hey, I got a 6 GPU rig right here using these parts. It's been mining for months now, and I've had great success with it. Well guys, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you guys very much for stopping in. Leave a comment down below as to what you used to build yourself a cheap GPU mining rig. If you guys enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe. Take care.